The movie starts in a realm where four elements coexist: air, land, water, and fire. A vessel embellished with conspicuous flames draws near the coastline of a visionary land. Here, fire elementals Bernie and his pregnant wife, Cinder Lumen, are journeying to the element city to immigrate. Upon reaching the destination, the couple on the boat is observed by diverse elemental beings. Land elements with tree-like features atop their heads, water elements emerging from a submarine, and air elements soaring in airships. As they enter the city, they are amazed by the buildings and the beauty of the surroundings. The couple then boards a train, but other elements show reluctance to accept them. During an incident, Cinder unintentionally gets splashed with the water element, prompting Bernie to ignite a small flame to dry her off. They are keenly aware that the city was not designed with the best interests of the fire elements in mind. Upon reaching their destination, they begin searching for a rental room. However, due to their identity as fire elements, they face rejections and encounter xenophobia from other elemental groups. Their journey to find a home becomes a struggle, but eventually, they discover a ruined building for sale. While not perfect, it proves to be a welcome choice. Bernie enthusiastically makes plans for the house. In this new land, they warmly welcome their little baby and name her Ember. Bernie introduces Ember to the blue flame, a symbol of strength and brilliance for the fire element race. The family establishes a convenience store and names it the Fireplace. As Ember grows, her father teaches her how to seal deliveries and handle customers, preparing her to eventually take over the shop in the future. However, Bernie knows he can't entrust Ember with this responsibility until she learns to regulate her blazing temper, as it causes her to burst out in fiery eruptions. As time passes, the shop gains popularity among the fellow community of other fire elements, slowly growing up around them. Ember grows, and her father Bernie ages, becoming less efficient, while Ember steps into a more prominent role. One working day, Bernie becomes tired, so he passes the cashier position to Ember for the first time. She takes on the responsibility eagerly, but due to a disagreement with a customer, she can't control her temper and erupts. In an attempt to make amends, Bernie sought forgiveness and offered a free item to the upset customer. Meanwhile, Ember fixed the broken glass, and Bernie appeared weary, no longer as efficient as he once was. Taking advantage of the situation, Ember took over, and Bernie's friends mockingly imitated his cough, sharing laughter among themselves. They jest about his retirement and the shop's transition to Ember. Inside, Cinder was at work in a dating service, pairing couples. Ember interrupts, needing items for delivery. As she leaves, her mother urges her to marry a Mac-born child, and wants to be a grandmother before she dies. Ember refuses, changing the conversation, and walks out of the room. Outside, a young land element asks Ember to be his date for the upcoming June Bloom Festival. She declines, citing elemental differences, and begins her delivery rounds. She completes her deliveries punctually and returns home. Bernie is sleeping. Ember assures him she'll handle the rest. Bernie proposes that if she manages the sale without losing her temper, he'll reconsider passing the shop to her. While Bernie sleeps, Ember prays for the strength of the blue flame to support her in her work. The following morning, Ember prepares the shop for the opening, dealing with numerous customers. Some behave poorly, testing her patience. At the cashier, a crowd surrounds Ember, overwhelming her and causing her temper to fray. She flees downstairs to prevent damaging the shop and further enraging customers. In the basement, Ember erupts, bursting a pipe. She promptly seals it, but water floods in. Ember is tasked with draining it when a surprise visit from a water elemental city inspector occurs. He issues a ticket for the broken pipes and potential permit violation, leading to a shutdown. Ember pleads her father built the house alone. The inspector Wade notes this but still threatens closure. He escapes, pursued by Ember. She corners him, demanding the paper. He evades through the pipes and submits it. He advises her on appealing. They enter and talk to a worker, pleading desperately. However, Ember's temper gets the better of her, causing an explosion. The officer reluctantly submits, suggesting the shop might be forced to close in a week. Ember returns home to find the shop closed. She rushes inside and discovers a basement full of pipes with holes. Bernie complains about the water in the basement, and Ember saves him from almost falling in. Cinder escorts him away, reminiscing about their past in Fireland. They moved to seek a better life due to the harsh environment, and Bernie lost contact with his family. Hearing this, Ember promises her father to protect the shop and the flame. The next day, Wade's bag catches fire. He extinguishes it and encounters Ember, who waits for his boss. He informs her that his boss won't be present due to an airball finals match. Ember seizes the opportunity and asks to join him. He agrees, and they attend the game. Inside the stadium, Ember spots his boss Gale. She navigates through a crowd of water element people with Wade's help, and sits behind Gale. Ember questions Gale about the previous day's incident in the shop's case. Gale remains focused on the games, dismissing Ember's plea. Ember's frustration builds, and she refers to Gale as Cloud Puffs. Wade intervenes, concerned about a player whose performance is affected by his mother's absence. He motivates the player, uniting other water element spectators and creating a celebratory wave, boosting the player's spirits. The player scores a goal, triggering widespread jubilation and an awkward moment between Ember and Wade. After the game, Ember talks to Gale, urging her to drop the case. Gale refuses, suspecting a leak prompted Wade's visit. The Wade suggests they investigate Ember's shop to find the leak and fix it. Gale proposes a deal. If Ember and Wade can locate the leak by Friday, she will drop the ticket. Otherwise, the shop will close. Ember and Wade rejoice at the chance. Returning home, they find Bernie frustrated about the pipes. Wade explains that the leak's pressure is causing the pipe burst. Ember reveals that her temper created the situation. To investigate, Ember suggests examining the canal from above. They construct hot air balloons to aid their search, identifying the spot where Wade got sucked in. As they navigate the canal, they share their life stories. Wade struggled after his father's death, shifting between various jobs. Ember recalls missing out on seeing the Vivisteria flower in a flooded museum due to their fire nature. Wade advises connecting with people by speaking honestly. They locate the main leak point and descend. While investigating, they spot a broken door allowing water to escape when ships pass. As a ship crosses, releasing more water toward Firetown, Ember rushes to plug the leak with sandbags, aided by Wade. Before Ember can head home, Wade asks her out for a date at the Alkali Theater at 3 o'clock. The next day, Ember tells her father she believes the pipes will be fixed soon. Noticing the time, she readies herself and passes Cinder, who senses a romantic air. At the theater, Ember meets Wade for their date. They enjoy a movie, take photos, and dance without physical contact. Back at the shop, Ember handles a burst pipe swiftly. She receives a package containing flowers in a water-filled bowl, discovering it's Wade body. Ember takes the flower to the basement, where Wade reveals himself and delivers troubling news. The sand used to block the water leak didn't hold, and it wasn't sand at all but cement. Workers are trapped, unable to block the leak. Worried due to the approaching deadline, Bernie arrives and surprises Wade. He inquires if the inspector is here to check the water leak, but Wade claims to be a food inspector. Bernie insists he sample their food, which causes discomfort. Wade comments positively on the food when cooled down, and demonstrates this using a cup to cool the food, angering Bernie. He kicks Wade out and bans him. Ember soothes Bernie's coughing and exhaustion. In a subsequent scene, Ember and Wade fill bags with sand to mend the dam. Wade suggests Ember tell her father the truth, but she refuses, explaining her father's hard work for their family. At the dam, Ember showcases her ability to turn sand into glass. This sparks an idea. They melt sand to create glass to block the dam, successfully sealing it. They celebrate, and Wade returns the glass ball Ember had previously made. At home, Ember hears Bernie coughing and rushes to his aid. She spots Wade's photo and hurries to his house, where she finds him waiting. He informs her Gale hasn't called yet but will. He invites her inside, and she accepts. As Cinder attempts to follow Ember inside, she's denied entry. Inside Wade's home, Ember meets his family members, including his mother. They share a meal, and Wade's brother accidentally breaks a glass filled with water. Ember repairs it, impressing everyone. Wade's mother encourages Ember to use her talents. Gale calls to inform them that the ticket case will be dropped. Wade and Ember rejoice at the news. As Ember leaves, Wade's mother offers her a job opportunity at a glass company due to her unique talent. Ember walks away without a response. Outside, Wade insists on speaking with Ember about his mother's offer. Ember admits she doesn't want to run the shop, fearing her father's disappointment. Caught by Cinder, who believes fire and water can't be together, Ember and Wade are ushered inside to demonstrate their compatibility. Cinder asks Ember to ignite a stick, which she does. It's then Wade's turn, and he astonishes everyone by using his water ability to refract Ember's light, igniting the stick. Bernie's arrival prompts Ember and Cinder to quickly dismiss Wade, claiming there was nothing there. Bernie announces his impending retirement and a party in 2 days. He recalls a past memory in Fire City when he bid farewell to his father, receiving no response. He reveals the new shop sign to Ember. The next day, Ember gifts Wade, who has something to show her. They visit the Vivisteria flower using a bubble created by Gale. They reach the flower, and Ember experiences joy seeing it for the first time. Realizing the bubble's air is depleting, they hurry out. Ember, joyful yet emotional, dances with Wade but abruptly stops, remembering her father. An argument ensues, leading to their separation. The following day, Ember's family prepares for the party, attended by fellow Fire Element individuals. Bernie announces that Ember will inherit the shop. During the celebration, Wade interrupts, revealing they could touch each other. The crowd is stunned. Bernie now knows the identity of the person responsible for the burst pipes. Wade confesses his love for Ember, but she denies her feelings. Cinder intervenes, asserting that they do love each other. Ember rejects this and sends Wade away. Hearing everything, Bernie declares that the shop won't go to Ember and he won't retire. Ember flees and stands in a distant place, reminiscing about her time with Wade. She notices the dam they sealed with glass collapsing, sending floodwaters toward Firetown. At a port, Wade intends to depart, but he is alerted by an alarm, compelling him to make his way to Ember. She rushes home to safeguard her family, but unfortunately, it's already too late. The flood has reached their house. Inside the house, Ember barricades the door to protect the flame. Wade arrives and assists in fortifying the entrance, while Ember encloses the flame with glass to protect it. However, the flood breaches the defenses, shattering the glass that was protecting the flame. This leaves Ember and Wade trapped, resulting in a rise in temperature. Wade starts boiling, and they attempt to find a way out, but both efforts falter. As the water gradually recedes, Bernie and Cinder arrive on the scene. Ember clutches the blue flame, unveiling that Wade rescued her, but he succumbed to the intense heat and passed away. She elaborates on her lack of interest in owning the shop. Wade's cough is heard. He's alive as vapor. Ember tells him a moving story to bring him to tears and revert to his water form. They embrace, sharing a heartfelt kiss. In the subsequent scene, the shop is bustling with visitors, including those from different elements. Bernie has retired, and his friends manage the shop. Ember arrives at the shop, greeted by a crowd, including her parents. Wade enters, receiving a warm welcome. Ember and Wade plan to leave for a new life, and a tearful goodbye takes place between Wade and his mother. Ember informs Bernie she'll work for a glass company. Bernie urges her to embrace her new life, assuring her they'll be waiting in Element City. Ember bows to Bernie, who returns the gesture. Ember boards a ship to embark on her new journey.